Hi, this is Sherry Veronica, and I wanted to talk online with Patricia today because she has some firsthand knowledge of where I'm talking about. And I wanted to talk to her about the fact that something may have happened there, but because the race stripe, they did not give the newspapers in Barbados the authority to print anything. Nothing gets printed. Anything that happens in the Hotel St. Philip, anything that happens within that confine, it seems as though the journalists in Barbados have to wait for the red stripes to give them the go ahead to print. And if it is not printed through the authorized journalists or the newspapers, people tend to think that it's fake news or that the news is just rumors. That's what they tend to think. But not everything is reported. And I want Patricia, when she gets on, to give a few instances of things that happened to her when she was in that facility that would never be reported. Patricia, welcome into the studio.
Yes, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
It's very disturbing about that alleged incident. I don't know nothing about it, and I don't know what happens to the female, the male section. But I could tell you about the female section of Hotel St. Philip. It's very disturbing, and I think Mr. Home Affairs Minister Wilfred Abraham needs to be dismissed. And the report needs to be unsealed. It needs to be unsealed because if it still stays sealed, and that report has been done since 15 months ago, allegedly, and since I've been there, nothing has changed.
Well, Abrams is not going to be fired because he was also in charge of that facility that housed young children, and he fudged the report and fudged the reports until the kids had to show that, hey, he's fudging the report. You need to look at us. You need to look at us. And it was because the kids forced his hands that the people of Barbados knew what was going on. So I don't know what the.
Can I just say something about that report?
Yes.
That thing. I did a story about that a while back. You see, I'm glad that you have me on. I did a story about that a while back, and why some of when Miss Reverend Lucille Beard or whatever her name is, she was in charge of the GIS, the report, and she said she saw nothing wrong. I did all that. But she was conflict of interest because she is a member of the police complaint, the Red Stripes complaints board. My apologies. Okay. I rectify the mistake I said. And there's another one there too that was in charge, was a member allegedly. But I know from Miss Lucy Beard because I was in a meeting with all of those people, and I was rather shocked when she said that there's nothing wrong with in there. And then when Mr. Retired Deputy Commissioner Oral Williams did the report, and he said there were lots of disturbing findings allegedly. There and then, Mr. Wilfred Abraham should have been dismissed.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, coming back to Hotel St. Philip, I could talk about GIS for a long time, the Hotel St. Philip. I would like the viewers to go back to sometime in June when I did about two interviews with you, or 3 interviews about Hotel St. Philip. I don't think people were taking me seriously when I said, one, it's a business. Because, Miss Veronica, I'm talking about me and the female part. People were, some of the guards had some of the individual people there that remand or whatever to come to do stuff to me. And what is so hard for that to understand that it was the stuff that was done to me was very disturbing. That as it was so disturbing that retired Deputy Commissioner Mr. Oral Williams on the outside said that they're looking, but they didn't tell me how they were looking for my safety. And there were so many breaches of security. Could you imagine? You know the things the women knit with?
Yes.
Not crochet. It's not. Was it crochet?
The crochet needles.
Those ladies are allowed to go into the quad with it. We call it B quad. With those things and knit. And that's a breach of security because it could also be used as a, you know what?
Right.
And sometimes it's only after a while they realize I'm observing them. They used to come and ask the ladies on remand for them before the night was out. But sometimes those ladies have those things 2 or 3 days.
Oh boy.
They were allowed pencils, sharpen. They were even allowed to sharpen crayons and sharpen pencils and have a lot of them inside the quad. You know what that is?
Right.
They have hairpins. They have so many things that weren't supposed to be in a quad.
Yeah, but the gist of everything is the Barbadians don't know what is going on, and then when an inquiry was made, the report has been sealed. So, like I said, the journalists in Barbados, if they have to wait to get instructions from an authority to go and investigate something that has been said, they're no journalists in Barbados. Then they're no journalists in Barbados if they have to wait for a particular order to tell them to it's okay for you to do this or it's okay for you to do that. Nah.
It is sad. It's just sad. And I mean, majority of the journalists, they work hand in hand with those people. I have before I knew you, I have so many things the journalists have done wrong with those individuals against certain people at, be it Hotel St. Philip or people who were supposed to appear in the court.
So you're saying that I have never heard of journalists from the Nation News, and Barbados Today is online. So if you're talking about journalists, you're talking about Nation journalists?
Yes. I could mention some of them. I know some of them. I will not mention them by name, but I can mention some of them. You see, and they not wonder now why they're losing business.
Why they're doing what?
Losing business. They wonder why now they're losing business.
Okay, is that a question?
But there's so much breach. This is Miss. There is so much breach. Can you imagine? You are sentenced. You are going into the remand quarters, and those people who are supposed to be manning the doors or whatever open the door for those people to go in. Imagine the cameras is something else. You imagine someone comes from the airport in there and is allowed to go on the outside when they first bringing in people to help bring in chairs.
It's lax. Maybe it's lax because you guys are females, and there's only.
No security. It would not be fair to the men. This is why I have no conflict of interest. It would not be fair to the men. And you do not, if you have people that were there for a very long time doing that sort of thing, I would understand that. The people that were there, like only there for a month, you have them outside, or those on remand, you have them outside. That's breach of security. Only those people that you could trust, trustees or whatever you call them. And then you have the female, the male people that work there. You know what? I don't think I can mention them, who they are, like not the names, but the, you know. One time we were in the big hall, and a gentleman just opened the door from the outside. I don't know how he got the key, but he opened the door from the outside. And they were coming to do work, but we felt so uncomfortable because he had some of the people in St. Philip with him. You know what I'm talking about?
You mean he has some of the men from the other part of the hotel, St. Philip?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, with him working to come and work, but there was no female guard there.
Right.
We had to buzz them from the outside.
So, okay, we wanted really to get on to talk about the fact that not everything that is happening there, people on the outside would know. Just that how Xavier Sargent is the guy's name, but what we heard about him and the nation and no one. Well, there's no other. Well, yeah, there's the Barbados today and there's the Advocate, but the Advocate doesn't carry much of anything. But they're not going to do anything until they get a bulletin from the Rice Tribe. So it's left for you, and it's left for those kids that were in GIS, the girls that were in, and it's left for people at, it's left for people at Hotel St. Philip to probably show up somewhere.
Look at the fight they had. Look at the fight I had told you they had in there. Allegedly, I saw it, but I would say allegedly because with the guards and the female whose house there. And allegedly the guards had to stay away from work for maybe a week. Was that in the report?
No, I'm not talking about it being in the report because the report is sealed. I'm wondering.
No, I'm asking mini report meaning that because every time something happens, the people in there have to write it down.
Yeah, but let's say they do write everything down. The public still doesn't know what's written down. The public
That's
still
true.
doesn't know.
Look at the money. Many times I have spoken to the head about certain individuals in there. You know, serious things. Or she's telling them, "Oh, I tell you already, don't do that." Could you imagine you the head telling it's the other person and the female St. Philip that, "Oh, I told you you're not supposed to do that." You have to, can I use the word discipline those individuals? And that's why when you start calling it Hotel St. Philip, I laugh because that's what it is, a hotel. There's no discipline, there's nothing in there. There's nothing in there. Can you imagine a Canadian was going to the polyclinic and with no cuffs on, nothing. I saw it with my eyes. When she came back, she walked with the person that was responsible for her together. Coming in hotels, the female arm, and I was shocked because we locals are always in restrict. What do you call it? We always have something, we always have cups on or whatever. And there was this lady walking around as if nothing. She come from all the way St. Philip, the polyclinic. was in a private vehicle that belonged to the Hotel St. Philip, and walked out and walked together with the guy as if they're friends.
Wow.
A lot of things that were happening to people.
Yeah.
And I don't know nothing about Mr. Zev. My condolences goes out. If it allegedly happened, my condolences, whatever. Not condolences, sorry, because the person's life allegedly. It should not be happening. It's who you know in there too. Those same people that are supposed to protect you are against you sometimes. I know what I'm talking about because I have to choose my words carefully because it's your program. But if I have to do a voice note and do a thing, some of those same people, I could tell you, in my case, I could tell you who they are. And the same people, the red stripe, and them were close together with some of those media outlets.
So can you tell us? Can you tell us who some of them are? You say you can't tell some, but you will tell some.
I know. I can't mention them.
So please mention them if they're part of the media.
No. You mean the people in there or the media?
I don't know who you're talking.
I'm not going to mention the media.
Okay.
I want to mention the people in there.
Okay.
Can I?
Okay.
Can I?
Yes, please.
Miss Bishop Waith. I'm going in order, but because those are serious people that they have to investigate. Miss Bishop Waith. This is a group of them. Those three. Miss Bishop Waith, Miss Brewster, and Miss Worrell. First.
Okay.
They are, listen to me, especially those, somebody would have to, I don't remember if I briefed Mr. Williams about them, but somebody needs to come to talk to me. Or I would have to brief Mr. I think I briefed Mr. This is a serious matter. Somebody will get seriously hurt out there. I am the most fortunate one because I had protection, and then I had protection from the outside looking in. I did. What about the others that do not have it? And those three individuals needs to be investigated. There's more to even the head of the females at Hotel St. Philip's needs to be investigated for many reasons. They were good ones. They got some good ones. Miss Gail, Miss Lane, one who works there, Miss Blackman. There's one or two others. But those three individuals, there were more. But you see those three individuals, they were frightening. And they sent people. So I don't know about the male Hotel St. Philip. But it can happen. People can be sent. And it don't have to be the other individuals. It could be the people that work there themselves.
Right.
Give the orders and stuff. I'm not speaking about the male, I do not know. Right. I'm talking about from experience. And it is sad. People who are supposed to protect you.
Well, I've lived long enough to know that I am my only protector. I have to protect myself. So that's why I left Barbados, because I realized that, it's a dangerous place to live. It's a very, very dangerous place to live. So, yeah, but it's going on to 20 minutes. I want to thank you for coming on. Okay. And we can always continue this and add on more if you remember things that we forget to say. We can always come back on and add on more to these particular interviews. Thank you so very much, Patricia.
You're welcome.
You're welcome too.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.